All right, here we go. I don't know what time you're watching this. It's 1:41 a.m. Monday morning, the 11th. So you're probably going to watch this sometime this morning. So I want to go over a couple things. Today's the first day where we're opening and doing paying guests. And I know there's a ton of questions. So this is not going to address everything. It's going to give you kind of an overview. And I'm going to share as much as I can remember at this point, going back to when to what we're doing and how we're doing this first couple days. So today is a pre-launch soft opening. So we're not going to announce that we're opening the salon on any particular day. We're not doing that yet. We're saying we're preparing to open, and part of the preparation is doing a soft opening, which is what's happening on Monday. And it will probably happen for a few days this week, where we will be getting people in and doing those appointments and declaring it as a soft opening, because right now there's so many things changing. So much is so fluid, and how we're doing things, we have to test out each day and see how things go. This is, again, like doing a brand new business. So if you're on your way in this morning, Monday morning, and you haven't worked now in more than 45 days or been in the salon in 45 days, you want to go in expecting the unexpected. So it's not operationally going to be the way that it was, and you need to know that from the get-go. So if you're somebody who is used to order and used to having things a certain way, and has a regimen that works better for you, you want to prepare yourself that it's not all going to be like that. Now, things that we're doing are brand new, and we're learning the parameters of how this is all going to work. So I just want to prepare you for that the way this is going to happen this week and going forward is going to be, for some of you, a shock to the system, just how it's going. Now, let me see what else I want to say about that. Okay, so we got on the opening, there's questions about, well, which way are we doing it? So first of all, we got the message on Friday that said, hey, you can open. We had no guidelines from the state of Florida until Saturday. Now, I know some of you sent me some that were the recommendations, and then there was one that finally came out that was a version of it. There's 2 state versions that we ended up with Saturday night. Now, this is after we created an outline. A group of us got together accidentally, just happened to meet up. It was Robin and Lisa, and Dilma's had input over the course of the last few days, or the course of the whole time, and Jade and a few others as well. And we had been discussing sort of an outline of a plan to put together. Then Saturday night, we got the other state plan and a city plan. The city of Naples put out their version of it. So a couple things I want to say about that. If you read the list of how we're doing it is how we're doing it. That's how it's going day one. Now, that is not like anything else you've seen. You're going, well, that's not the state, that's not this state, that's a version, that's our version. There's a couple things about our version that you need to know. One is, there's a 15-minute gapping thing on there that 2 of them have on there. I think the city one and the state one have that. We're not doing that. And the reason we're not doing this for a couple of reasons. One is that you are not an independent contractor who's only doing one guest. You're an employee. So it's a different classification. So we have other people who are also doing the cleaning. So if you were one-on-one and you were the only person working there, you were independent or you were a sole proprietor, you would be responsible for that cleaning in between. That 15 minutes does absolutely nothing for the disease. My wife is a medical doctor, and there's nothing about time, that 15 minutes, that's going to prevent disease from happening. What will is the cleaning. Now, the cleaning will happen, and it is happening, because all that area is going to be cleaned before the next person comes. It's not about time. So I will be the one to go to jail for that if that's what's required, but we're not doing that. There's no way. There would be no point in opening, taking 25% out of every hour. So the second thing is, the size of our salons is about 3 or 4 times the average salon. And we've reduced the staff in there each time. So there's a tremendous amount of space in our salons. And why we've reduced the number of staff is so that we can have more than 1 client per stylist. Now, why can we do that? Because we don't have multiple employees at the same time. So if we only have 4 employees, and they each, now this won't always happen, but if they each had 2 people gapped out, one that's getting a processing and another one that's cutting in another area, 2 completely separate areas of the salon, then the total count is 12. 14 if you have 2 associates and a front welcome person, which is within the limitations per square foot. We wouldn't even have that many the way we're staffing it now, because we're not at full capacity that way. That would be our full capacity. So numbers wise, we're probably going to be 3 average, 4 average stylists. There might be some overlap where there might be 5 stylists. At the Bayfront and at the Village, huge rooms. I mean, at Bayfront alone, you could use what used to be the break room where the washers and dryers are as a either holding area, waiting area, an application area. you've got, since we're not having a waiting area where people can wait in the salon, you can use the front area where the couches are as another waiting area. To the left, you could use that area. To the left where the retail area is, as you walk into the salon, there's another station there. That is either a holding area or an application area. Then you have the actual stations where they're working at. So there won't be a separation of color room and styling station because there will be overlap there. So at the Village, same thing. There's a lot of different spaced out areas for people to sit. So that is the reason why we can do it the way we're doing it, because we have massive salons. The square foot per person and per station is 4 times the norm, and we've also reduced the staff. So that's how we came to the conclusion on that version. And some of the things that are on that list will be updated each day, and new version will be listed of the tweaks that we make of each one. Again, this is called a soft opening, a pre-launch. It's not the official. So if somebody's yelling, well, how come you're not getting me in? Well, we're just doing the soft opening. We're going through the steps. So it's not like we're putting a loudspeaker out there and saying, hey, everybody, come on in right now. We're not doing that yet. We can't handle that yet. So we're going to go tomorrow, which is today, Monday, then Tuesday. We'll see how it is Tuesday, and Wednesday, see how it is Wednesday. Now, you can still book appointments beyond that. I'm not saying don't do that, but those are subject to change based on what changes with us. Let me just check this audio to make sure I'm still recording. Is it still recording? Okay, good. Sometimes it doesn't record always. Okay. Okay, as far as the setup. Okay. Oh, I want you to be aware. Okay, there's some other things that we're doing that is very, very different. So you have to remember this. Don't compare us to every other salon for a lot of reasons. One is many others are independents. They're booth rental. They're sole proprietorships. They're suites. Very, very different. They're not the same size as we are, and they're not going to be able to do the things that we're doing. Okay, one, for example, is having people prepay. Not having a payment station set up cuts down a lot of interaction and contact in the salon. Other places aren't going to be able to do that, and that's going to be so with us. So that also allows us to have more people in the salon that aren't doing things that are not directly related to the services happening. We can do more people in that time safely than having other people in other stations that aren't going to work. So that's something that we can do that's an advantage. Yeah, I want to make sure that it's really, really, really clear too that this launch, this relaunch is done as safely as possible. So it's not just hurry up and open. I'm going to satisfy, and we're going to satisfy both sides, because there's two kinds of people around right now. There's, you have one extreme and the other. You have the conspiracy, fascist theories, and then you have the, you're going to kill everyone because of your behavior side. And so, and I'm not saying either side is right or wrong. I'm not even getting involved in that conversation. I'm just doing what's right for the future of our family and our business. So I'm being a realist about it, and we're doing the steps necessary to have that happen. So moving onward with the next bit of information, because if I had questions to answer from you, I will get those answered as we go through this day. Let's see. Now, all right, here's another important area that I want to make sure I get covered. About walk-ins. All right, tomorrow on Monday, today, make sure that the doors are locked. We can't have people walking in and out of the salon to take care of them. That's going to add more people and more contact with the community that we're not prepared for. So we'll get there, but we're not there yet. The signs that we're putting on the door are going to communicate to people what we need them to do. If they need to book, they need to do it online right now. Leave a message so we can call them back, or send a message so we can call them back. We're not opening up full phones yet. We're going to do this slowly and well, it's going to the best of our ability. That's why I'm saying leave the doors locked. When you go up to let the next client in, let them in, lock the door behind. I know it's going to seem rude, but it's how we have to do it to be safe for everyone. Because there will be people knocking on the doors. I've been in the salons a lot, and there have always been people knocking on the doors, and I appreciate that they want to come in. And while you're there, but while you're working, you have to think of the safety of the guests and your safety as well, as we do this, one day at a time. All right, please remember this as well. Okay, this is with the changes. I talked about change earlier and how things are going to be quite a bit different than they were before, and a lot has happened. So many things have happened, and I can't even remember 2 days ago, let alone yesterday or today, because of how the cycle has changed and how so many things have changed. So there's a lot of rapid change, so you want to prepare yourself for that. So if we set it up one way, tomorrow, today, Monday, and then Tuesday, it's different, prepare yourself for that. Okay, don't hold on to that and, well, he said this and it was supposed to be like that. Yeah, it changed. And that's how it has to be in this climate. We don't know, and we're making those changes to adjust and adapt to it. So I just want to make sure that you're mentally prepared for, yes, there are those things that are happening. Please do the best you can to adapt as quickly as possible and shift gears. Next important point. We are starting from a negative number. You can consider this a brand new business. Now, what does it mean by starting with a negative number? A negative number is we have been accumulating debt. So one of the great things was the PPP program. However, one of the things that changed in the course of that, when the law was first written, was that the taxes that are paid, the business matches the taxes, the FICA, federal, Social Security, and Medicare. So the business matches whatever each person pays into that, which is 7.65%. So we've been accumulating that number each pay period. So every pay period, there's $7,000 to $9,000 worth of taxes that the business has to pay in. That does not come out of the PPP money. So that money has been accumulating as debt for us with zero money coming in. 49 days of no. Yes, we've had the kits, but with the kits, we are down 98% from what we did in those same 40 days. So it barely covered 2%, which barely is going to cover the cost of the color orders, which we just wrote checks for, like the hair color orders for stocking the salons, and other expenses that are not covered by the PPP. So we're going into debt. We're starting with an amount of debt. So resourcefulness, I am requesting from everybody, being very, very resourceful. Well, what does resourceful mean? Well, being resourceful with whatever hair color you have. Knowing what hair color you're going to need for the next day. You're going to have to be doing pre-consults. So you'll be doing consults the day before, either via virtual or via phone and picture, but being in communication with your guests the day before so that you don't come into any surprises, because we don't have a lot of room for you to make big time adjustments with a retouch. So you got to know what you're dealing with. Did they do anything in between this visit and the last visit? Did they go to the CVS and buy a box color and do something with their, or if it's somebody you haven't seen in a while, or if it's somebody else's guest you're doing, you want to make sure you're prepared for what you're going to have the next day, so that you don't have surprises and you're not, running around upset that you don't have exactly what you need. You may not even have it the day before when you go to look. So what are you going to do? Are we going to reschedule that? Are you going to talk to some other people and figure out how to readjust the formula? Whatever that is, please be aware of that. That's going to be a different step that has to happen. Now, for you Monday people, you're going to have to be doing those pre-consult consults throughout the day on Monday if you haven't already done them, because that's a new piece. I'm going to check the audio. Okay. So being that we're starting from a negative, being resourceful, that means also being conscious. If you're adding extra color, I noticed a lot of the orders that went out for the color kits in the beginning were multiple color mixtures, maybe for the hairline, but there were more mixtures than just a standard retouch mix. And when we looked in the history, there was not an extra charge for the extra mix of color in the history of the guests coming in before. So that has to be corrected. They've got to be charged for that. They can't be a gift to them. We don't have the resources to do that. So we've got to make a change to that. So if that's not happening, you need to make sure that that happens. If you're taking extra time, if you're doing a haircut in an hour that normally is set up for a standard of 45 minutes for most of your guests, if that's 45 minutes, you're doing it in an hour, that's 15 extra minutes that wasn't being charged. So that has to be added on. These things have to be accounted for because we're going from zero. Discounts. There was a woman tonight, so we just got done sending out all the invoices for tomorrow. The clients are going to need to prepay unless they have VIP. We're not doing IOUs, and we're not saying pay us later or mail a check. We have to do it this way. We don't have the manpower to do it any other way, and we're not going to be collecting money in the salon. So because of that, to confirm the appointment has to be paid for. Now, there was a client tonight who said, what about, she wrote back after we sent out the confirmation text, which says, hey, you can expect an invoice to pay for the invoice, to pay for the service beforehand. She said, well, what about my friends and family discount? And I said, sent her a reasoning why we're not doing that. We have had 49 days of a zero. We don't have the resources to offer discounts to people. If you'd like me to reschedule to take you off the schedule, I can do that. If not, this is how we're doing it now. There's no other way for us to be able to go forward when we're already at a negative point right now. So this is about the fitness of the business. This is about taking care of our future together and taking care of the foundation of the business. So for now, we are not doing any discounts. No hero haircuts. We can't afford to do those things. When we're able to be back on our feet again, we'll revisit those and be able to take care of those. But right now, free services and discounted services are not our first priority, and they're not going to be on the list. okay, Monday, or Monday, keep the doors locked, let one person in at a time. Please check with the guest and make sure that they have paid for their service. So I'm going to be having people contacted first thing in the morning who have not paid. Now, some of them didn't get their invoices till tonight, and they might need some help with that. It's a link that's sent right to them. It's really easy to do, but I know that could be difficult for some that have an AOL address, because if you still have an AOL address, well, you know what that means. And if you don't, ask somebody. So make sure that has happened. There were some of the people had VIPs that ran out, so we use the VIP for that portion and then build them for the remainder of it. VIPs, we do not know about VIP right now. I can't answer any questions about that. We don't know when or if and how that's going to work in the future. So people are asking about that. It's a question we can't answer right now. People want to book, when are we going to do blowouts? Can't answer the question. I don't know. Can I get a keratin? Can I get a Brazilian blowout? Don't know when. We're pushing them out into the future. So there's a lot that we can't answer right now, and we can't be all things to all people at the moment. We have to be short and direct with people. And as we do these questions, now I'm not saying you need to be that way when your guest is with you in the chair, but we're getting inundated with people making a lot of requests. And to just try to get appointments booked for just tomorrow, for just today, for just Monday, we were asking people, listen, I have this one time slot here for you. Would you like that? And people are saying, well, no, can you do one? And they're in this negotiation stage where we don't have a lot of negotiating time or times available right now. So as we do this in the beginning, it's kind of going to be like, hey, listen, this is the soft rollout, and this is a special opportunity for you to be able to get in now. Would you like this appointment tomorrow with Christy at 9 o'clock? And, if they can take it, great, here it is. And if they can't, okay, we'll get back to you, or check back with us at the end of the week or the beginning of next week for a time that works better for you, or get back to them in a few days. But right now, that we're focusing on the short term until we get these kind of bugs worked out, because there's over 500 requests for appointments just on the appointment request from Timely. That's not the emails that have come in, or the voicemails that come in, or the chat box emails that have come in, or the messages that have come in, or the Google Messenger, I don't know what Google calls it, Google messages that have come in, or the Yelp messages that have come in. There have been messages coming in everywhere, or the voicemails that have come in. So there have been many, or the 5 different email addresses that they've been coming in at. So they've been piling up everywhere. And some people have been doing a lot of work behind the scenes to have kind of put this stuff together and hold it together right now, because there's a lot to do and a lot to be done, and it's just one bite at a time, right? Robin, elephant, just chewing on, that's how you eat that thing. All right. I started to say what to be looking for on Monday. So you're going to have a coordinator type person up front, periodically, who's also going to assist with the other areas in the salon. Now that might not be set up yet, because there's a million things I've missed in trying to have all this happen. That's why we're calling it a soft opening and doing it a little bit at a time, and not going full guns at everything. That person is they're not pre-booking appointments. We're not doing things on the computer. We're not answering the phones in the salon. We're not taking care of that. We're not taking care of walk-ins. We're focusing on the guests who are in the salon and doing it as safely as possible and following the protocol that way. So. Consults. Okay, here's the other thing. So if you have appointments for Tuesday and they're on there and you're working on Tuesday, you're going to want to get a hold of everybody on there and get a picture of them, be in conversation with them. Make sure you know what's coming into you on Tuesday. We do not have time in the salons, or it backs up. We're not building that in right now to do consult time, because we have a limited amount of time and a limited amount of people that we'll be able to get in. So consults, pre-consults, make sure you know what's happening the next day, each day. All right, I think I covered all that I could remember for the moment. Thank you for stepping up. Those of you that are going to be in there tomorrow, this is a new world. I appreciate you being willing to go in on the first shot. Those of you that are at home and taking care of a loved one or taking care of yourself and doing some self-care, thank you for taking care of that. If you're not well and aren't able to, get yourself, take care of yourself. Not good for you to be out here anyway. There's some who I still have not heard from, and I don't know whether you're well or not well or what's going on. So please check in with me. There's some that I haven't heard from, and it's probably going on 4 weeks now. So I want to make sure that you're okay and know what's happening with you. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for your love. Thanks for your support. Thanks for being a part of this amazing, awesome, incredible family. And one of the things that you should know is that no group, there's been no salon, and it'd be a rare one that I would find that is stuck together the way we have through something like this. And you look around, you listen around, you go to groups Facebook groups or any of those other things. There's a lot of fragmentation going on. A lot of people who have disappeared completely, either quit already or gone on to something else. So our group, our core is amazing.